Most people don't realize it, but they've been quietly trained to accept an average life. Study hard, get a stable job, work for 40 years, hope retirement arrives before your health runs out. And if you want more than that, society calls you greedy. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The system isn't designed to make you free. It's designed to make you predictable, because predictable people are easier to manage, easier to employ, and easier to keep in the same place. And yet something strange is happening. Some people follow every rule and stay broke. Others ignore the script and escape the system entirely. So the real question isn't, how do you work harder? It's, why does working harder no longer guarantee freedom? I didn't understand this at first. I believed what everyone else believed, that success comes from patience, loyalty, and staying in line. But after years of watching how money actually moves, I realized something disturbing. Wealth is not built by accident, and staying broke is rarely accidental either. There is a pattern, a path most people drift into, and a path a small percentage deliberately choose, and the difference between those two paths determines everything: your freedom, your time, and the life you're allowed to live. The question is, are you choosing your path or unknowingly following one that was chosen for you? Here's the part nobody warns you about. Most people don't fail. They drift, not because they're lazy, not because they lack ambition, but because drifting feels safe. You take the job everyone says is stable. You follow the path everyone says is smart. You wait for the moment when things finally take off. And years pass. Then decades. And one day you wake up realizing you've been moving, but never actually choosing a direction. This is the quiet trap of modern life. You stay busy, you stay responsible, you stay realistic, but you never gain control. There's an old saying, if you don't build your own dream, someone else will hire you to build theirs. That isn't motivation. It's a warning, because no one wakes up thinking, how can I make you financially free? The system rewards productivity, not independence. And that's where most people get stuck. They say they want wealth. They say they want freedom. But their daily actions are optimized for safety, not growth. They scroll for hours, but say they have no time. They dream about success, but never commit to one direction long enough to build it. They fear choosing the wrong path, so they choose none. And here's the hidden cost of that fear. When you don't choose a direction, life chooses one for you. Usually the safest one, the most predictable one, the one that keeps everything exactly the same. But safety has a price. It trades freedom for comfort, growth for stability, potential for predictability. And over Chimi, that trade becomes permanent. Now here's the uncomfortable question. If nothing in your life changed over the next 5 years, would you be satisfied with where you end up? Most people never ask themselves this, because deep down, they already know the answer. And this is where everything shifts, because the moment you stop drifting, you face a decision that most people avoid their entire lives. A decision that feels uncomfortable, irrational, even selfish, but history shows it is the turning point for nearly everyone who escapes the system. Achisomi point, drifting becomes unbearable. Not dramatic, not explosive, just a quiet realization. I can't live like this forever. This moment is uncomfortable because it forces a question most people avoid. What do I actually want? Not what sounds responsible, not what looks safe. What do you want? Freedom? Control over your time? Security for your family? The ability to walk away from work you hate? Most people feel the answer immediately, but they ignore it, because wanting more feels dangerous. We are taught to be realistic, to be grateful, to stay within limits that were never designed for us. And if you say you want wealth, independence, or control over your life, someone will call you greedy. But wanting freedom is not greed, it is autonomy. It is the ability to make decisions without fear. It is the power to say no. And history shows something important. The people who change their lives are not the smartest, they are the ones who become focused, not interested, not curious, focused. Because once you decide that your life will change, something inside you shifts. Distractions lose power. Time feels more valuable. Comfort stops being the priority. The uncomfortable truth is that obsession in a healthy sense is often required. Not obsession with money, obsession with building a life on your own terms. Because the world is not short of people who want comfort. It is short of people who commit. But here's the strange paradox of modern life. Never before have people had so many opportunities, and never before have so many felt stuck. Trade crypto, learn coding, flip real estate, build a personal brand. Every path promises freedom. Every path claims to be the fastest. And instead of creating clarity, this creates paralysis. Because when every option looks life-changing, choosing one feels dangerous. So paraply wait. They research. They watch another video and another. They convince themselves they are preparing, but preparation slowly turns into avoidance. This is called decision paralysis, and it silently traps millions of ambitious people because the brain prefers certainty over progress. It would rather stay stuck than risk moving in the wrong direction. But here's the truth no one talks about. There is no perfect path. There is no guaranteed choice. Waiting for certainty is like waiting for the ocean to stop moving before you sail. It never will, and while you wait, life keeps moving, bills keep coming, time keeps passing. Eventually, if you refuse to choose, circumstances choose for you. The system is perfectly designed to accept people who stop deciding. A stable job, predictable income, limited freedom, permanent dependency on external decisions, comfortable enough to survive, restricted enough to never escape. But here's what separates people who stay stuck from those who build real momentum. They stop searching for the perfect opportunity and start looking for the fastest way to become valuable. Here's a truth most people don't want to hear. You are not paid for your time. You are paid for the value you create. Two people can work equally hard and live completely different lives. The difference isn't effort. The difference is value. Because the marketplace doesn't reward how tired you feel. It rewards how useful you are. If you can solve a problem millions of people have, your income expands. This isn't unfair. It's mechanical. In reality, successful people developed a skill that created leverage. Leverage means your effort reaches more people. Your work produces more results. Your time multiplies. This has never been possible before in human history. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people spend years consuming content. Instead of building skills, knowledge without application creates the illusion of progress. You feel productive, but nothing changes. Skill building is uncomfortable. At the beginning, you are bad. Your first attempts will be embarrassing. And the modern world trains you to avoid discomfort. But mastery requires the opposite. Every expert you admire was once terrible. The difference is, they continued through the awkward phase while others stopped to protect their ego. And ego protection is the silent killer of growth. Most people think becoming successful requires a revolutionary idea. It doesn't. In reality, the fastest path to success is not invention. It's replication followed by improvement. Success leaves patterns, and patterns can be studied. Imagine trying to climb a mountain without a trail. You might reach the top, but it will take longer. You will make unnecessary mistakes. Now imagine following a trail thousands have used successfully. The path is clearer. The dangers are known. When you learn from someone who has already achieved what you want, you skip years of trial and error. This isn't copying. This is accelerating. You don't need celebrity mentality. You need proximity to proof. Look for what they repeat, because repetition reveals what works. And what works is where income lives. But discovering the path is only half the journey. Every master once produced terrible work. But most people never reach mastery because they cannot tolerate being beginners. They hesitate to start, they wait until they feel ready. And readiness never arrives. Because skill is not built through thinking, it is built through doing. Execution exposes mistakes. Mistakes create learning. Learning builds skill. Skill builds confidence. This sequence cannot be skipped. And if you want to accelerate growth, you must seek criticism from people who understand the craft. Feedback sharpens skill. If you avoid feedback to protect your ego, you protect your weaknesses instead. There is a period in every growth journey where you feel alone. You are no longer aligned with old habits. This in-between phase is uncomfortable. Growth separates you from familiarity before it connects you with purpose. This is not failure. It is transition. Success rarely arrives as a single breakthrough. It arrives as small improvements stacked over time. Each win builds evidence. Evidence builds belief. People quit because they expect immediate success. But progress is gradual. The goal is not instant success. The goal is continuous improvement. There is a moment when things begin to click. Confidence replaces hesitation, and the market begins to respond. This is momentum, and it only arrives after consistency. Progress is invisible in the early phase. You practice, nothing happens. So people assume it isn't working. They stop. And stopping resets progress to zero. The difference between success and failure is often timing. One person stops too early. The other continues 1 month longer. And that extra month changes everything. But momentum alone doesn't create wealth. At first, you earn money through effort. This is necessary, but it is only the beginning, because long-term wealth requires leverage. The goal is not to work forever. The goal is to build systems that work for you. Income pays bills. Leverage builds freedom. Ironically, the first taste of money can slow people down. When income begins, many relax. They upgrade their lifestyle and stop improving. Progress stalls because growth requires reinvestment, not just of money, but of attention and effort. Acceleration is not about doing more things. It is about doing the right things more effectively. Winners don't chase everything. They double down on what works. At this stage, your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying. You begin seeing yourself as someone building. Identity shapes behavior, and behavior shapes results. Making money changes your life. What you do with it determines your future. When income increases, temptation increases, you tell yourself, I deserve this. So you upgrade everything. From the outside, it looks like success. But inside, expenses rise to match income, and freedom remains out of reach. Wealth is invisible. It does not show on social media. It does not provide instant validation. And because of that, most people choose appearance over security. They spend to look successful instead of building the foundation that creates freedom. Wealth builders treat money as a tool, not a trophy. Instead of asking, what can I buy? They ask, what can this money build? They understand that temporary restraint creates permanent freedom. One income stream feeds you. Multiple streams protect you. At first, you earn, then you build, then you own. Ownership creates leverage. Leverage creates freedom. And freedom creates choice. Choice over your time, choice over your location, choice over the life you live. This is the real definition of wealth. Most people never make this shift because spending is easy. Building is slow. Patience is rare, but history shows the pattern clearly. Those who build assets gain control. Those who consume income remain dependent. It's the ability to choose your own path without checking a bank account first, because in the end, the system didn't want you free, it wanted you predictable. Breaking that script is the only way to truly live.